everybody. How's everyone doing? I finished 3 awesome books this week, and I have to tell you about them. So the first book I finished, and if you think that that's like an overachievement, I only finished 3 books this week because I was in bed a lot. I did not feel well. My allergies were definitely kicking my butt after being in San Antonio for a week and just not letting myself rest enough after TCEA. So I spent a lot of time in bed. So if you did not finish 3 books this week, shoot, most times I don't even finish a book a week. So do not feel bad. Anyway, first book I finished this week was The Amazing King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. It was amazing and beautiful and everything that I expected it to be. This is the cover on the Kindle Paperwhite. Does not do it enough justice because this is black and white. The actual cover is all gold and it is beautiful. This is the double eagle emblem of Nikolai and his family. So this book picks up where the Grishaverse trilogy ends. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that you do not need to read any Leigh Bardugo novel or story before you read King of Scars. I have not read anything by Leigh Bardugo since Crooked Kingdom came out like 3 years ago. I don't even know how long it was ago, but I've not read anything by her since then, and I was not lost. I didn't feel like I missed anything. I didn't go back and reread. I didn't go back and like Google who certain characters was. I had no issues with it. It was fantastic. This is Leigh Bardugo's best work. If you have not read anything by her before, start with this. It was awesome. Now, I will say, if you have read the Grishaverse trilogy or Six of Crows, it does help because we see a lot of characters that we've met before, and it's nice if you know their backstories. So if you have not, I'm going to give you a super quick explanation. So Grishas are people with powers. That's all. They are different types of Grishas. So there are some people that control the air, control water, are good with machines. There are people who can change your appearance. There are people who can slow down or speed up your heart. There's all kinds of different Grisha, and they all have different abilities. Now, there is a drug called Jurda that enhances their abilities, but it can come down from it, and the withdrawals from it can kill a Grisha. So the Grishaverse trilogy is about an awful, horrible Grisha named the Darkling. Actually, I don't think he's a Grisha. Anyway, he was an awful, horrible person called the Darkling, and he wanted to destroy his country. He was just an awful person. And then Alina, who is now Sancta Alina, or Saint Alina, because she's the sun saint, destroyed him. In the process of doing so, Nikolai, who is our king and our main character in this book, King of Scars, had a monster implanted in him by the Darkling. In Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, you meet this amazing, wonderful group of people who are also awful people, but they're the best. Casbrecker is my book boyfriend. They're just fantastic. One of them is Nina. At the end of Crooked Kingdom, Nina loses her boyfriend and it destroys her. Also, Nina does Jurda to help them with what they're doing in Crooked Kingdom, and the withdrawals almost kill her. They are awful. It also changes the way that her powers work. So Nina is one of our main characters in King of Scars. So you get different perspectives. We have Nikolai's perspective. Nikolai really just wants to redeem himself and be a good king. That's it. He wants to be a good king. He wants to prove to his country that he's not going to be, I don't know what my hair is doing, that he's not going to be an awful ruler like the kings of the past were, or the kings that were his father were. He wants to be good. That's it. He also wants to get rid of this monster that's inside him. We also get the perspectives of Zoya, who is his general. Now, as the kids are saying, I am shipping them so hard. I want Nikolai and Zoya to be together because Zoya is fierce and strong and beautiful, and she doesn't take crap from anyone, and I love it. Zoya, I think, is a wonderful role model for anyone because she knows what she wants. She knows that she has to work for it, and she knows she has to work hard. She does have some awful stuff in her history, but you know what? We all do. Anyway, Zoya is amazing, and I love her, and I think she's a wonderful general, and I think she would be so good for Nikolai. So she also tries to help him in this book get rid of the monster that is inside him. Now, the way that process goes down, way over my head. I was very confused. But Leigh Bardugo is amazing and a wonderful writer, and I understood it. Did I have a fully knowledgeable understanding of the concept of what was going on? No. But I understood what was happening the entire time. I was never lost. It was awesome. Then we also have Nina's perspective, and Nina is on a mission. Um, at this point, I don't remember what her mission was, but she ends up having a new mission where she stumbles upon people who are being given the drug Jerda. I'm not going to tell you about these people because it hurts my heart when I reread it and think about it, because these people are people who I don't think normally would be taking this drug. And it's not just endangering them, it's endangering other people as well. So Nina finds a way to help these people. She also makes a friend, and I loved it. It was such a beautiful friendship. Nina makes a friend with another girl who is also headstrong and smart and beautiful and just wants to be able to be herself in a country that doesn't value women and doesn't think that women should be strong and doesn't think women should ride horses or wear pants. Women should just make children and be good, silent wives. Yeah, right. That's not going to happen in a Leigh Bardugo series. All of the women are always strong and awesome. And so Nina kind of embraces her new mission, and it was great. So while Nikolai and Zoya are on their mission to get the monster removed from them, the kingdom is kind of left on their own. And what's awesome is we see some characters that we knew and loved from the other series, from the Grishaverse and from Cricket Kingdom, who have to take care of the kingdom in his absence. So good. So good. If you have not read it, definitely read it. I wouldn't say to wait and read any of Leigh Bardugo's past work. Just get on this one. It was amazing. So the next book I read this week, it has been on my TBR for probably 5 years. Easily 5 years. And it's just been one of those that I've always been like, I'll get to it when I'm not busy, when I have some extra time, or maybe during the summer or winter break or spring break. You know how some of those books are just like, I'll get to it eventually. So we were wandering around the Amazon Prime store last night. And if you've never been to an Amazon store, it is so cool. Sorry, I have puppies coming to love me. It is really cool. So basically, if you have Amazon Prime, you pay Prime prices in a store. It is so cool. And so this book was so amazing. I wanted something, obviously I've had a book hangover because King of Scars was just fantastic. I wanted something that I could read really quickly, that I would get into and kind of just fall into and then be done with. And this book did that. I finished it in about an hour and a half. I don't even like poetry, and this is a book of poetry, and it is my favorite book now. Like, I mean, I love Harry Potter. Y'all know I love Potter. I love Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. Those books changed my life. This book is everything. I know I say that a lot, but this book is everything. If you are a woman, you need to read it. If you have daughters, you need to read it. If you work with young women, you need to read it. If you know young women, shoot, anything, you need to read it. I am going to preface this by saying this book is not YA. I had one of my friends tell me this morning that she wanted to pick it up for her daughter. And I will tell you that if it is something that you're interested in handing to a student who is not in high school, you may want to read it first. There are trigger warnings, and that's what I really like about this book. So it starts with trigger warning. This book contains sensitive material relating to child abuse, intimate partner abuse, bullying, sexual assault, self-harm, eating disorders, queerphobia, menstruation, alcoholism, racism, trauma, death, suicide, grief, cancer, fire, and possibly more. Remember to practice self-care before, during, and after reading. And it's the princess saves herself in this one. Y'all, this is my favorite book. I loved it. It was everything. Oh, it was so good. So it goes through her story, and it's the story of a princess turned damsel turned queen. So it starts with her as a young lady or a young girl, and she's being emotionally abused. It hints at sexual abuse. I don't know, because it's never just put out there. So if you want to believe that there's sexual abuse, you can. If you don't, then you can kind of, it's not. But it does hint at it. It also, I love that the main character that we're reading about has an obsession with books, and the books get her through a lot. And then as the story goes on, she picks herself up. She learns to love who she is. She also says that the pain that she's going through does not make her stronger, and she doesn't feel like it was for a purpose. But I believe it was. because this book is amazing. And my favorite poem from it, I'm going to read to you. It was beautiful. If he was my cup of tea, then you are my cup of coffee. Tea simply isn't enough for me sometimes, but coffee can get me through anything. Did I make you up? You guys, it was so good. I loved it. It was wonderful. It was everything. So good. Go read it. Go read it. And the last book I read this week that I also finished last night. Now, this book did take me a long time to finish. I started it January 3rd. It is very slow. I also think it's very important. It is If You Don't Have Anything Nice to Say by Leila Sales. This book is honestly terrifying. It's about a girl who makes a comment on Facebook. She posts something that she did not mean to be mean. She says something about how to die. She was a national spelling bee champion who she won. And takes place a few years after. And she says something like, tonight we learned that something is a word and that African Americans can win the national spelling bee. Posted it, didn't think anything of it because she didn't have very many followers or friends, but it got reposted and reposted and reposted and went viral until people just shamed her. Honestly, that's one of the things I'm most afraid of, is being shunned and shamed over the internet, to where the college that she was accepted into rejected her and told her they couldn't have her. Everything was taken from her. Her scholarships, her title as a national spelling bee winner, everything. And she just spirals and goes into this dark place because of what people tell her. And it's something we see every day. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, we see the awful things people tell each other and how horrible it is. And this book does a wonderful job of showing you what can happen and how scary that can be and how the damaging that can be, where we think we're just leaving a mean comment and we go on with our lives. Some people have to live with that, and it is horrifying. This is a realistic fiction book. There is no real, there's no violence. It's very, very real, though. It is definitely something that I think high school kids should read, because it's actually something that happens every day and something that kids probably will go through, or what they will share something that they don't think about. And it's her story of how she has to dig herself out of this and find a way to heal and to forgive not only herself, but the people that helped do this to her. So it's awesome. It was really good. Again, like I said, it was really slow, but it's terrifying, and I think it's super important for people to read. And now I am currently reading On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. No big deal, but she was in Austin Friday night, and I got my book signed. I also had her mom sign it because it was cool to meet her too. This book's awesome. It's about Bree, who wants to be a rapper, and Angie Thomas says where the hate you give is about finding your voice, On the Come Up is about making noise. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. I hope you enjoyed tonight. If you did, please click like and or subscribe. It was great to share my books with you. I hope you have an awesome evening or day or week or whatever. Bye, guys.